You are watching a master at work.
What's happening, people? It's Steve Merkel here, or Merk for short. Hope y'all are having a wonderful day so far. Today's video is going to be episode 1 of how to solo this week's Nightfall in Destiny. Every week I'll start doing videos on how to solo that week's Nightfall. I'll go over the burns, my strategy, tips and tricks, and also show you, what I use, my loadout, and stuff like that. This week's Nightfall happens to be the Summoning Pits, where you get to kill Fogoth in the end, and it's on the moon. Before we get started, let's get into the burns. So the burns this week are going to be Epic, heavily shielded and highly aggressive enemies appear in great numbers, Juggler, no ammo drops for your equipped weapon, Angry, minions of the darkness won't flinch, even after massive damage, Void Burn, void damage from any source is greatly increased, and of course, Nightfall. If all players die, you return to orbit. All these modifiers are crucial, but the ones we want to pay the most attention to are Juggler, Void Burn, and Nightfall, so we'll keep those in mind when we're building our class. Now, if we take a look at my setup here, you'll see my primary weapon is Atheon's Epilogue, which you can get from the raid. I think it's just a hard raid drop. No, it's a normal raid drop as well, so you can get it from any part of the raid. I think only at Atheon. That's why it's called Atheon's Epilogue. But anyway, Atheon's Epilogue is a great weapon to use when Void Burn is active because it, deals void damage, and it's a great primary weapon if you can get it leveled all the way to 300. My secondary weapon is going to be Praetus Revenge. It's a Void Burn sniper rifle, and my heavy weapon is going to be the Raid Machine Gun Corrective Measure. If you don't have a void primary, secondary, or heavy, I would just switch an arc or solar damage instead, because the wizards will have red and the knights will have blue. So if you can't go with void damage, you want to go with arc or solar. Now before we get started, let's look at some other things we want to get. The first thing we want to get is Black Wax Idols. Now we want to use those to gain extra glimmer. Unless you don't have too many, you want to hold on to them for the Dark Below DLC. After the Black Wax Idols, we want to get heavy, special, and regular ammo synth. Just in case we have trouble with ammo because the Juggler burn is active, we want to make sure we're stacked on all of those if you have enough glimmer to get them. Once we got all our weapons down, our burns memorized, and know what we need to do, we can get our heavy ammo synth and Black Wax Idols together, and we can start the Nightfall. Right when you spawn in, you really don't want to fight any of the acolytes or knights. I did, but I was just messing around. You really don't have to. You can just run past them. The Nightfall really doesn't start until you get to that room with the witch and the knight and the couple thralls and the couple acolytes. So what you want to do when you get to this room, and you shouldn't take this one too serious because if you die, you can just respawn. But the best strategy I find is to stay by the door and focus the witch and the knight after you kill the couple thralls, because they'll run at you right when you get there, the thralls will. And then you just will shoot the knight and shoot the wizard from the door. Now the biggest problem is going to be the wizard, most likely, because you poke your head out, you take a couple shots, the wizard unloads on you, you're near death. But if you just take your time and focus those first, you shouldn't have a problem. You should be able to take them out in a couple minutes, and then it's on to the next part. Once you arrive at the next stage, this is when the Nightfall really starts. There's 3 waves. The first wave will be thralls, a couple knights. The second wave will be a couple witches, a couple knights, and some thralls and acolytes, some yellow bar acolytes. The third wave will be about 4 to 6 witches, a couple knights, a couple thralls, a couple acolytes. Now out of all 3 waves, the ones that are going to be the most difficult are going to be the first and the third. The first is difficult. It's not difficult until you get to the knights. Like the thralls will come at you, you'll kill the thralls like you see me doing. And then there'll be like 2 or 3 yellow bar knights and 2 or 3 red bar knights. Now these guys will murder you instantly. They are very powerful, and I really don't get why they're so powerful, because it's not arc burn, and their things shoot, their weapons shoot arc, not void. It's void burn. But the best tips I can give for this section is to stay by the door that you come in when you spawn. What was that? Stupid phone. But to stay by the door you come in when you spawn. Usually, if you start taking heat, you can backtrack and go beyond that door, and the enemies won't follow you. Every once in a while, a knight will follow you, or one thrall will follow you, but the majority of them won't, so it's great cover. After you get going, you can really get it down. You can poke out, take a couple shots, kill one, backtrack if you have to. Go back out, take a couple shots, kill one, backtrack if you have to. You can take it however fast or slow as you need. When the second wave starts, it's really not that difficult, but the yellow bar acolytes shoot void burn weapons, so it can get a little tricky. Now, in this one, you won't be able to hang out past the door that much because the acrolytes won't follow you at all. So you're going to have to come out just a little bit further than normal. What you want to do is just focus the yellow bar acolytes. You want to just aim down on them, kill them, duck behind cover if you have to. And then you want to take out the red bar acolytes. Especially if you have a void burn primary weapon, the red bar acolytes die in like a couple bullets. It's the yellow ones that will give you trouble. Because most of the time when you're shooting a yellow bar, like, you can't kill him in one setting before he will kill you. So you have to time it right. After you've beasted through the first and second round, I really wouldn't relax yet. The third round is probably the hardest of them all, and probably, in my opinion, the hardest thing in this whole strike. Those 6 witches will absolutely destroy you if you're not careful. So, quick tip, before the round starts, you listen for the door to click, and Dinklebot might say something, he might not, but that door clicking sound, that's when you know the round has started. So you wait for that sound, and once that sound is cued, you know the third round has started. Once the round has started, we're going to be on the lookout for 6 witches. 2 or 3 of them yellow bar, and 2 or 3 of them red bar. Now, what I like to do is I like to go to the middle of the map and wait so I can see them as soon as they come out. As soon as I see them come out, I shoot them once or twice to make sure they're on to me, and then I run all the way back like you see me doing. Now, once I get all the way back there, I get my heavy machine gun out and I wait. They're going to come and they're going to start firing at you immediately. Once they do this, you want to maintain cover from the left, the right, or up high like you see me doing. Like, I'll jump up really high, and at the angle they shoot their bullets or magic or whatever that is, they can't hit you. They can't headshot you if you're jumping really high. So what I like to do is do that and just focus down the yellow bars with my heavy machine gun. Once a couple of yellow bars are done and dead, it gets a lot easier. Once those yellow bars are dead, we want to be on the lookout for the red bars. Now, don't get too crazy because the red bars, when there's still 2 or 3 of them left, they will absolutely melt you as well. So we want to slowly go out, maybe take out a red bar, 1 or 2 at the most with our heavy machine gun, but we don't want to take out 3 witches at a time. If you see one, take them out, but if 3 or more come at you, just run. Especially if one's a yellow bar, because they will destroy you, like I said. And just don't rush it, it's not a race. Take your time, go as slow as you need to. Shoot a couple, go back, just like the knight. Shoot a couple, go back, regen your health, shoot a couple, go back. Whatever. It's not a race, doesn't matter how slow or fast you do it, just as long as you get it done. After the witches, it's pretty much over. The round phase, not the whole strike. People were getting excited there. The round phase is over. You kill the witches, and you go out. You might have to take a knight or 2, some thralls, some exploding thralls, so watch out for that. And then it's on to the next stage. So once you've gone down a little further after Dinklebot opens the door magically, the next stage will be a couple thralls, couple exploding thralls, but the main thing is going to be a knight, a shielded knight, a yellow bar knight, and an ogre. What you want to do is you want to focus the knight or the ogre first. The ogre shoots purple, but in most cases he really won't even get a chance to shoot at you if you take him out quick enough. So what I do is I focus the knight or I focus the ogre. Either one is fine. Now while you're doing that, be careful because the thralls and exploding thralls will run up on you and damage you. A little trick I use is I throw a grenade, the spike grenade for the hunter, down at my feet or a little bit in front of me. That way, usually, when a thrall is running up to me to melee me or explode me, that nade explodes them, or if it's not an exploding thrall, it's just a regular thrall, that nade will deter them. They won't go through the nade and kill themselves to get to me most of the time. Sometimes it doesn't work, but most of the time it does. And that's just a little tip I thought I'd throw in there. After you take care of the knights and the ogre and the couple thralls and exploding thralls, and take your time, don't die here, it's not really worth it. This should be an easy stage. You just, stay back if you have to. After that, you go through the door and you go down a little bit, and we're almost to the summoning pits. What we'll do is we'll meet a lot of acolytes and thralls here, and I think a witch or a knight, and you kill them. You kill them pretty easily, you stay back, watch the acolytes for the void burn weapons, and you should be fine. Now what I usually like to do after I've cleared out that, before I go to the 2 knights, is there's a ship that drops off stuff, and sometimes they'll shoot you in the back and kill you. It's like a witch and a couple acolytes, so I like to take those down too, as you see here in the video. It takes like 5 seconds and it's not really worth the risk. I would definitely take at least some of those down. After we clear that out and we know our back is safe, we can move forward and we're almost there to the summoning pits to face Fogoth. The only thing standing in our way is 2 knights, and these things are monsters. They will murk you in an instant, so please be careful. You want to stay back, snipe them if you have to. It's really difficult because they they'll take shots, then they'll dip into cover, regen their shield, and then pop back out. And you're thinking they're weak, but they're shielded, so, you're just stuck there. What I like to do is I use my special on them, I save grenades, and I also use my heavy weapon, whether it's a rocket launcher or a heavy machine gun. I use it all right there. If you're brave, you can run past, but I really wouldn't recommend it. I would just take them out, because if you focus down and be patient and wait it out with a sniper and a heavy machine gun or a rocket launcher and a sniper, you should be good to go. And finally, we've arrived. The summoning pits where we can destroy Fogoth. He's a big chained up monster that you do not want to mess with, and he looks scary as hell. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go forward and open the door, and then you'll see him standing there. A thrall or two might run up to you, kill them if they do, but do not run past the opening of the door. You want to stay there, shoot Fogoth until he is unchained, and then once he's unchained, maybe shoot a couple more shots, but don't take the risk of him shooting you, and then run backwards like you see me doing. Right when he's about to be unleashed, or a little after he's unleashed, a splasher or something like that, I don't know what it's called, you'll have to check it out in the video, but it spawns in the top right corner or the back right corner, and it deals void burn, so it will kill you instantly. So you go around like I do and chill in the corner. You can get a sniper shot on him, on Fogoth that is, but I wouldn't risk too much. I would stay back there, and in a little bit you'll see that splasher or spiker or speaker whatever disappear. Now, this is the trick to this part right here. Once the splasher disappears, we're just going to go with splasher, because that sounds pretty cool. If it's not named that, it should be named that. So once the splasher disappears, if you look on your minimap, once he disappears, everything else disappears with him. The knights, the witches, all of them. If they're piling up in the doorway, once that splasher disappears, they disappear with him. So we wait for him to disappear, then we go out and take some more shots on Fogoth. You want to take limb shots if you have to. Don't risk precision shots, just to get a couple more extra damage on him, because he will kill you in 2 shots probably with his big void monster head. And that's pretty much it, guys. You just want to rinse and repeat this until Fogoth is dead. You want to glitch like I am and take some sniper shots in the back when the splasher is there, and you want to go to the front of the door and get out your rocket launcher, your light machine gun or whatever, and take shots when the splasher is not there. In my count, the splasher kind of spawns every 7 to 10 seconds, so just be wary. You'll see me kind of aiming on Fogoth and then unaiming and then aiming really fast again. That's just to see if the splasher is there. We really don't want to take too much damage from the splasher if we can help it, because like I said, he deals void damage and he will kill you pretty fast. And that's pretty much it, guys. You do this until it's over. Fogoth dies and you get to teabag him or dance on his body or whatever you want to do, I hope you guys get some great loot from this. Unlike me, 11 ascendant energy, not too good, big whoop, 100, 200 of them so far, so really not much to do with them. I'm actually thinking about going to the bar in the tower and just making it rain ascendant energy at this point, just to get rid of them, But that brings us to the end of today's video. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and leave a comment telling me what you think. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Later, daters.